Well, good morning, fifth grade. We are almost done with our chapter on our circulatory system, and you've learned everything from how your heart works, what it means when it's pumping, the different parts of the heart, the different blood vessels that run through your body, and how we have so many of them, and all the different cool facts that go along with it. So we're going to keep moving on. I know in my last video I kind of jumped the gun a little bit with some of the videos that I was showing, some of the slides when it comes to cleaning your blood. This is a big part of how your body works. You ever heard the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? What do you think that means? Okay, good. Yeah, it basically means it's just a simple way to stay healthy. Eating a good food helps you stay healthy. So in this next section of our chapter, we're going to be learning some basic ways on how we can stay healthy, but also how your body works to keep you healthy without you even knowing that your body is doing that. So for today, we're going to be looking at how our skin, we already know that it's part of our immune system, but we're going to be looking at how our skin helps clean our blood and also how our lungs help clean our blood. And I think you already know how your lungs do. What do you think? Yes, Martin, I think you're correct, but we're gonna get there in just a second. So let's start with how our different parts, why does our blood need to be cleaned? So the circulatory system, we know that it carries oxygen and nutrients to every cell in our body. And again, if we didn't have that happening, we would have dead parts of our body because we need oxygen at every part of our body. So as our cells use oxygen and those nutrients, they produce a waste product. These wastes include what things? Carbon dioxide and also unwanted minerals. Anytime our body has something that's too much, it has a way to get rid of it. So for instance, if you, how many of you take like supplement pills? Your parents make you take the supplement pills or the vitamins and with extra minerals and immune boosters and all that stuff. How many parents make you take that? Okay. Well, if your body doesn't need everything that is in those, your body gets rid of it because it doesn't want to have extra in the body. So let's say if I take a vitamin C pill. Vitamin C is a way to help my immune system stay strong. But if I take way too much, I'll note, this is kind of gross, might be a little bit too much information, but you know that never stops me from saying things. So if my body has too much vitamin C in it, it's going to take care of it by filtering it out, and my body gets it out of me, and that's usually through my pee. And the same thing happens with you guys if you're taking those supplements, which they're good for you. So don't be like, we shouldn't take them. No, you take them. But if you don't need as much as what's in the pill, your body gets rid of it either through peeing or pooping. So how does our blood take care of it though? Or how does our body clean our blood from all those unwanted minerals and carbon dioxide that our body does not need? Well, if the waste stayed inside of us, our cells could not work as they should. Our body would get poisoned, and we could even die from that. So God has set up our bodies to basically clean ourselves from the inside out so that our body doesn't become poisoned. So we have these organs that clean our body, and we're going to look at two of these today. We're going to look at our skin. And this is kind of like if someone was to cut out a chunk of your skin, what each layer would look like. And we're also going to be looking at how our lungs help to remove waste from our body. Our kidneys are the other one, and we're going to look at that on Tuesday. So our skin. Some wastes are released from our body as perspiration. We call that sweat. You're perspiring, which means you are sweating. What is sweat? Well, sweat is simply just a mixture of water, salts, and other types of waste that move out of the blood and into our sweat glands. So if we look, this is like, if I was to take a chunk of your skin and put it under a microscope, this is what it would look like under that microscope. This is just a diagram of that, and here's like our hair follicle. Here's where the hair on our arm, let's say this is our arm, where the hair is coming out over here. But then we have these little squiggly line things over here, and this would be like our sweat glands. And you can see it on this picture over here. Here's our sweat glands. Now, what is the purpose of being able to sweat? Right, number one, it cools us off. If we couldn't sweat, we would overheat, especially in this South Florida heat, although right now it's storming. I don't know if you can hear the thunder out here. When we sweat, it cools our body off. It removes heat from our body when we sweat. But what sweat also does is it removes extra salts that we don't need in our body as well, and it helps our bodies to have any, like, just get clean from our sweat glands. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. So when our body temperature rises, the fluid, or that's the sweat, is released from our sweat gland. It travels to the surface of our skin through the tube, which was this tube over here. See these? Okay, so it travels through those tubes. And then it exits our body through the pores in our skin. So if we go back to this diagram over here, all these little things right here are pores. Okay, so where it goes up to the surface of the skin right here, those are our pores. And you guys will soon find out as you're getting older, some of you have already started, that when your pores in your face get clogged, you could sometimes get zits. Welcome to the teenage years. All right. So that's our sweat. Now, other wastes in our body, we have the main one that we've talked a lot about this quarter, this chapter, is carbon dioxide. We know that this is removed by our lungs during the process of respiration. And again, we know that respiration is when we inhale and exhale, okay? So when we inhale, we breathe in a mixture of gases that are in the air. Those gases, remember, are oxygen, nitrogen, argon, and all those different trace amounts. Remember, trace means like those little tiny amounts of other types of gases that are floating in the air. But our lungs pick up the oxygen from the air. And as we breathe it in, if we look at this diagram here, we breathe it in, and, oh, what is this stuff right here again? What are those called? Starts with a C? That's right, the capillaries. Capillaries in our lungs will pick up oxygen and bring it to the rest of our body. Remember, it goes through our heart and then out our aorta into the rest of our body. And then when it comes back to the lungs with the veins, it's bringing back the carbon dioxide. So red blood cells also release the carbon dioxide that our body produces. Our lungs, then, we exhale that carbon dioxide and the unused gases out of our body. Now, all right, so remember, we have different organs and different things in our body that help clean our blood. If our blood could not get cleaned, our insides would essentially become poisoned. The two things we looked at today was our skin. How does it that skin cleans our body? That's right, we sweat. We get some of the unwanted salts and other things, and it cools our body. But it goes through the pores in our skin so that we can sweat and get rid of those things. And then again, we have our lungs. We know that our lungs clean our blood by getting rid of what gas again? That's right, carbon dioxide. These are all, those are two things that help clean your blood. We'll look at kidneys tomorrow specifically, and we'll have a little activity to do with that one as well. What I want you to do today is there's a set of questions below this video, and you're going to answer those questions. Either write it out, take a picture of it, or type it up in an email and send those to me so that I can give you a grade for that. All right, guys, I will talk to you and see you tomorrow.